Hello and welcome back to the aftermath, where it was West Ham United 2, Manchester United 0. And yeah, my voice is a bit fucked, but I'm still getting this video out to you guys. And before we get into anything, make sure to like and subscribe if you are new. And yeah, thank you for the support as of recent, and Merry Christmas Eve. I completely forgot it was Christmas Eve because I was watching football and watching Chelsea lose again. But we'll talk about Chelsea another time. Now, I said in my preview, the title was There's No Excuses, and in general, there was no excuses to not go for the game. And that's because Man United are on the ropes, and despite their draw at Anfield, that was purely because they got up for the occasion and was like, well, we need to be disciplined, we can't get battered, because they were scarred from the PTSD of last year of going to Anfield. And we beat Wolves, we got battered by Liverpool. And if you're going to throw away a cup, you got to win on the weekend. And luckily we did. We just stuck to what we're what we're good at, I guess. And as much as it wasn't an amazing performance, it wasn't a terrible performance either. I can't tell you anyone that had a bad performance as an individual, maybe apart from Souček and Areola should have commanded his box better. Other than that, not really many complaints from me. Nothing major. It's just the same things I will say over and over again. Paquetá, when he gets into the middle, you see what he does. You see what he does in the box. He can drift wide, but guess what? If you give him a free roll, you'll get the best out of him. The guy needs to be in the middle, whether that's false nine, whether that's just behind the striker, or even deeper if he needs to play there as well. Because he has the grittiness to tackle and do all of that kind of stuff. But guess what? He also has the ability to link up with players, create openings, be creative, be free, make good passes, long range, short range, left foot, right foot, outside of his foot. The guy we haven't seen anyone with this much technical ability since we had Dimitri Payet. But we're not going to compare him to Dimitri Payet because they were actually two different players. And when you want to decide who's better, I think a lot of people are going to say Paquetá because Payet left after one season. And Paquetá's, well, give it, after January, he would technically have stayed longer than Payet did. And of course, we have to let players settle in first. And once we've let him settle in, he had a really good start to the season. I would say from when we were losing to the past couple games before Wolves, he had a bit of a rough patch still because I didn't think we'll see the best of him in any sort of game. Like even the goal against Olympiacos, if you remember, he had a terrible cameo coming on as a substitute. But guess what? He's back to nearly his best. I still think there's more to come. And what you're going to get with Paquetá is he's going to take risks no matter where he is on the pitch. And that's a bad thing, but it's also a very good thing. The reason why it's both a bad and good thing is because sometimes it will lead on to Man United going on the counter-attack and he nearly fucked it up. He actually did a recovery tackle from when he fucked it up. But at the same time, he also created both of the goals. It was like when Kudus against Burnley, he gave away the penalty and then he created 2 goals. But with Paquetá, that's what he's like. And I've made various short videos and long videos and talked about long videos about Paquetá, Kudus and Bowen. But they are the 3 we need to build around. But it's about getting where to play all 3 of them. Because we're saying we need a striker. Now, if we get a striker, are we playing Paquetá and Kudus in the middle, Bowen on the right, and a striker? Is that what we're doing? Because it could work, but there's still certain adjustments we'd have to make. There'd be certain decisions, like certain players we might have to risk not playing. There's certain tactical decisions we'd have to make as well. But that is, and even if we can't play like all three of them and we get a left winger or a striker that's good enough for this club, it's all down to competition. And even in January, we're probably not going to invest, but Mohamed Kudus won't be there. And he'll be a big miss because this guy is on fire right now. And I've explained it before why I don't overhype or over-criticise players in their first season of playing in the Premier League. But Mohamed Kudus, I've not seen anyone on form like this. Like, I've not seen like people like Jared Bowen, Pakistan Kudus. I've not seen anyone on form like this at my club. Since Diafra Sakho broke a record by scoring a certain amount of consecutive games, and Dimitri Payet when he was here in terms of performances, apart from those two, there's not many. There's not many players I can think of that have performed this consistently. And Kudus will drift in and out of games. Like, he wasn't good against Tottenham, but we'll park in a bus against Tottenham. And he doesn't suit that. He wants to keep the ball. He wants to recycle the ball. He wants to get out players. And it looks like we're trying to develop that way. But the long term will be without Moyes trying to play that way, because he still is very much put the handbrake on. And we had the handbrake on. I still think we had the handbrake on a bit too much against Man United. And that's not even and that's just not being aggressive enough when we were pressing. Because if you're not aggressive enough, people like Onana will find ways of playing the ball out. Now, luckily, in front of Onana, no one can really play on the ball for Man United apart from Kobe Mino. And that's it. Because Lisandro Martinez is not fit. So there's not really anyone of the technical quality that Man United want, or Man United have, sorry, that can play the way Onana wants to distribute the ball, etc. And everyone in the media, their grandfathers, their mothers, their dogs and cats are going to talk about how bad Manchester United were. But they're not going to talk about how they got beat by West Ham United. And I do agree with people by saying West Ham didn't even have to be that good to beat Man United, because I don't think it was the best performance, but we were just way better than they were. Like, they genuinely did not look like scoring at all. But whether Rashford was on, Garnacho, Anthony, Højlund, none of them looked like scoring. Bruno Fernandes was awful again. Scott McTominay is overhyped as fuck. I don't know how people hype him just because he scores goals against Gibraltar and, like, San Marino. And I get it. He turned up against Spain once in the qualifier. But guess what? He's not a good midfielder. For what a midfielder offers, I am so glad that deal did not go through for him to join us. And the longer Moyes is here, the more times we're going to get linked to players like McTominay and Maguire. Let Steinen offer you out players. You know? Like the one player Moyes wanted, and the one player Moyes wanted, that I wanted as well, we got in James Ward-Prowse. A secure midfielder that can give you a technical quality, yes, older than McTominay, but Ward-Prowse will not only give you the set pieces that we all know of him and love for him, he will also give you balls over the top, balls in between the lines, can put a cross in, is good at securing the ball. Yes, he's not as fast and as strong as you would want a midfielder to defend transitions, etc., but he gives you a lot of energy in that midfield. And the dynamic with Edson Alvarez will work. And it has been working if you just play them two together. Edson Alvarez is physically great. Can also pass in between the lines. Can also get a ball over the top. I would stay away from shooting, despite the goal against Freiburg. I would stay away from shooting. But he's very good at protecting his back four. Thomas Souček. He didn't do anything yesterday. Like, he didn't do anything. Like, he was almost like, it's a bit McTominay-ish, like just hiding from the only thing. Souček is better than McTominay because he actually can defend like a proper midfielder, like McTominay. But Thomas Souček, without his goals, there's not really a point of having him. So when you need to see out a game and when you need to chase a game, you bring him on. I've said this millions of times. but it needs to happen. The guy didn't do anything. We're probably going to need him against Arsenal because he turns up for the bigger games. And we all know it's going to be the same starting 11, and it should be, even with our centre-backs, which I'll come on to in a minute. But Thomas Tuchel doesn't really get involved in 90 minutes, doesn't get involved in build-up because he can't. He's not good enough at passing the ball, and you saw that against Liverpool, and there was no excuses then. There was no excuses for people like Benrahma, people like Fornals, the fringe players. They need to leave. Either they need to leave or they need to accept that they're not good enough to start. Don't give me the stuff about playing time because we've seen these guys for years. We've seen them for years and we just know that they're not good enough and they're not as consistent as the guys we have signed over the past 2 years. That's why a left winger is really important. Because then you have, let's say Bowen plays up front. You put Kudus on the right, Paquetá in the middle. You sign a new left winger, Alvarez and Ward-Prowse just in behind. If you guys want to get the best out of your attack and play on the floor, that is surely the way to go. And speaking of like good performance, etc., Konstantinos Mavropanos has come into question a lot. Give the guy a chance for fuck's sake. Because you guys have like some of you wrote off Paquetá last year, this time last year. Like, why did we sign him? Like, I saw someone saying Carroll's the worst defender ever. I know he hasn't played, etc., like, recently, but you're telling me he's worse than Roger Johnson? He'll make a mistake, but he's not as bad as Roger Johnson. I'll say that for sure. Like, Mavropanos and Zuma did a job on Højlund. They just kept intercepting the ball. Mavropanos needs to stick to doing the simple things, can't fuck around on the ball. Especially when you go to the Emirates, his former club, he better not fuck around on the ball. Because Arsenal will press. They will press the shit out of us. We will probably make a mistake through the press and we'll either concede a goal or a big chance. Mavropanos will start that by trying to play out. But please, for the love of God, just keep it simple and you'll be fine. And as I said about Neif again, that is the difference between putting your all out there for a fucking clean sheet, having the aerial presence, intercepting. Again, can put in a good tackle now and then. He can. He's very good at the last-ditch tackles. But this guy misses the ball in the air for no reason. This guy diagonally passes it towards the opponents. So he needs to be dropped. Regardless, we're probably not going to see him because of AFCON anyway. And he's ill right now. But regardless, Zuma and Mavropanos need to keep their places as centre-backs. And we need to hope that Zuma does not get injured during the period that Neif again, is in AFCON. But that will be it from me. That is the aftermath. And make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. The email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.